What if some of the changes you're seeing in your skin aren't just because you're getting old? Talk about the fine lines, the loss of firmness, skin that doesn't seem as elastic as it used to be before. We normally blame age or the sun for these changes, or even genetics in some cases. And yes, those things matter. But there is another process happening quietly inside your skin that most people have never heard of. And it involves something many of us consume every single day. And that thing is sugar. Now, before you throw away every piece of fruit in your kitchen, hear me out. I'm not saying that eating one dessert suddenly gives you wrinkles. That is not what I'm saying. That's not how this works. But when sugars remain elevated in the body, they can participate in a process known as glycation. And glycation can affect two of the most important proteins that keep your skin looking firm and flexible. These two proteins are collagen and what we call elastin. And once you understand what's happening, you will understand why skin aging isn't only about what you put on your face. It's also influenced by what's happening inside your body. So let's talk about what sugar can actually do to your skin over time. Imagine you are standing outside a newly constructed building. The walls may look beautiful, of course, but underneath them is a structural framework holding everything together. Your skin has something similar to that building. And one of its most important structural proteins is collagen, the one that I'd mentioned before. And collagen provides strength and support to your skin. Then you have elastin, the other protein that I talked about. Now, as the name suggests, elastin helps your skin stretch and return toward its original shape. Think of healthy young skin like a new elastic band. You stretch it and it springs back to its original shape. But as we age, that system gradually changes. Collagen production declines as you age. Existing collagen then becomes damaged and also fragmented, and sun exposure, or the exposure you have to the sun, contributes to that damage. Smoking can accelerate aging, and then there is glycation. This is where sugar enters the story. Here's the fascinating part. When sugars such as glucose circulate in your body, some of those sugar molecules can react with proteins. They don't need an enzyme to do this. And over time, this series of reactions, they can produce a substance known as advanced glycation end products. And think about collagen fibers as flexible ropes that support your skin. Normally, those fibers need to maintain the right structure and flexibility, but glycation can cause additional crosslinks to form between collagen molecules. Imagine taking several flexible ropes and then pouring glue between them. The ropes are still there, but they don't move as freely anymore because of the glue that you've poured in. They become stiffer, and because collagen is a long-lived protein, these changes can accumulate over time. And that is one reason researchers are interested in glycation as part of the aging process. And it doesn't only happen in the skin. AGEs have been studied in relation to blood vessels, in relation to kidneys, to eyes, and other tissues. But because we can actually see our skin, that's where the effects become particularly interesting. So what happens when collagen and other proteins accumulate glycation-related changes? Now, over time, skin may become less elastic and, of course, less resilient. And think again about that elastic band. When it's new, you stretch it out, you release it, and of course, it snaps back to its original shape. You leave that elastic band in the sun for years, and eventually it becomes stiff and brittle. That is the change that happens. Human skin is obviously far more complicated than an elastic band, but the analogy helps. It helps us to understand what happens when the proteins responsible for its structure undergo changes. Now, glycation has been associated with features of skin aging, including reduced elasticity, including stiffness, impaired repair, and changes in the dermal structure. But there's something extremely important. Sugar is not the only thing aging your skin, not even close. We have ultraviolet radiation that comes from the sun, which is one of the major external drivers of premature skin aging. We have genetics, which play a critical part. We have smoking, which also plays a critical part. We have age itself. Talk about nutritional matters that also play a critical part, and many other biological processes that are involved in the aging process or skin aging process. So if someone only tells you this one food is why your wrinkles exist, be very careful. Human aging is much more complicated than that. And now we need to clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings that exist, because whenever people hear about sugar, they think sugar is bad, and they start treating everything containing carbohydrates as though it's identical. A soft drink and an apple, for example, are not nutritionally equivalent. Whole fruit contains naturally occurring sugars. Yes, they contain naturally occurring sugars, but it also contains fiber. It contains vitamins. It contains minerals. It contains water and numerous beneficial plant compounds. The fiber also changes how quickly the carbohydrate is absorbed. The bigger concern from a general health perspective is excessive intake of free sugars, particularly from foods and drinks where large amounts can be consumed very quickly. Think sugary drinks, think sweets, think cakes, think biscuits, sweetened breakfast cereals, or even desserts. These are just some of the products that you can find sugars in: sweetened coffee drinks and many ultra-processed foods. You don't need to become frightened of an orange because you watched a video about glycation online. Nutrition doesn't work that way. And so let me show you where things can become surprisingly easy to underestimate. Imagine drinking a large sugary beverage. You can consume a significant amount of free sugars within a few minutes without feeling particularly full. Now compare that with sitting down and eating several pieces of whole fruit. The experience is completely different. You chew, there is fiber, there is volume, there is water, and you become full after taking the fruit. And that's one reason sugary drinks deserve particular attention when you are trying to reduce free sugar intake. And it isn't only about your skin. High intakes of free sugars can contribute to excess energy intake and unhealthy weight gain, and sugar-sweetened beverages are particularly easy to overconsume. So when we are talking about reducing sugar, don't start by obsessing over the teaspoon of sugar naturally present in a healthy food. Start by looking at the obvious sources of added and free sugars you are consuming regularly. There is another source of AGEs that researchers have studied. Food itself can contain advanced glycation end products, and how food is prepared appears to influence how much is formed. High temperature dry cooking methods such as grilling, roasting, and frying can generally produce more dietary AGEs than moist cooking methods such as boiling and steaming. And you may recognize the chemistry. It's related to the browning that makes grilled and roasted food smell and taste so appealing. And I know many of us like that. But don't turn this into grilled food causes wrinkles. Again, that's far too simplistic. That's not what I'm communicating. The human body is extraordinarily complex, and researchers are still studying how dietary AGEs influence human health. The useful lesson isn't to become afraid of your frying pan. It's that your overall dietary pattern matters much more than any single meal. This is where social media tends to get very creative. You will see statements such as this: do this for 7 days and reverse glycation, or drink this every morning and rebuild collagen, or take this supplement and look 10 years younger. Unfortunately, biology doesn't usually cooperate with those headlines. There is ongoing research into strategies that may reduce AGE formation or their effects, but there isn't a magical drink that erases years of skin aging overnight. And aging itself is normal. Aging is normal. The goal isn't to somehow remain 25 forever. That is not the goal. The goal is to reduce avoidable damage while protecting your overall health. And fortunately, there are several practical things that you can do to this effect. Number one, reduce excessive free sugars. You don't need to eliminate every gram of sugar from your life. Instead, pay attention to where large amounts are coming from. Sugary drinks are a good place to start if you're a fan of sugary drinks. Then look at sweets, look at desserts, look at sweetened beverages, look at heavily processed foods. Now, small changes, when you repeat them for years, they matter more than extreme diets that you follow for 2 weeks. Number two, protect your skin from excessive sun exposure. If we are discussing premature skin aging, we cannot talk only about sugar and ignore ultraviolet radiation. Sun exposure plays a major role in photoaging. So protect your skin and do so appropriately. Your future skin will thank you for taking that step. Number three, don't smoke. Smoking doesn't only affect your lungs. It is also strongly associated with premature skin aging. If you're trying to protect your skin while continuing to smoke, you are focusing on the wrong battle. Number four, eat a balanced diet. Vegetables, whole fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, include them in your diet. Also include seeds, the different types of seeds or healthy fats, include them in your diet, and adequate sources of protein, be it plant-based or animal-based. Your skin is living tissue. It needs nutrients just like the rest of your body. You don't need a mysterious anti-aging food. You need a consistently good dietary pattern. Number five, take metabolic health seriously. And this one goes much deeper than appearance. Persistently elevated blood glucose levels, particularly in conditions such as poorly controlled diabetes, they can accelerate glycation. So knowing your blood sugar matters for reasons far more important than wrinkles. It matters for your eyes. It matters for your kidneys. It matters for your nerves. I'm sure you've heard about diabetic neuropathy. It matters for your blood vessels, even your heart, and your overall health. Here's a useful benchmark that I would like to leave you with. The World Health Organization recommends keeping free sugars below 10% of total daily energy intake and suggests that reducing intake below 5% may provide additional health benefits. For someone eating approximately 2,000 calories per day, 10% is around 50 grams of free sugar. And here's the problem. You can reach that surprisingly quickly. A sugary drink here, sweetened coffee there, dessert after lunch, a few biscuits at work, and suddenly something you thought you barely ate has become a significant daily intake. That's why awareness matters. You don't need to fear sugar, but you shouldn't ignore it either. So, as I conclude, does sugar age your skin? The scientifically accurate answer is more interesting than the social media version. Sugar molecules can participate in glycation. Glycation leads to the formation of advanced glycation end products. And these compounds can accumulate in long-lived proteins such as collagen and contribute to changes in their structure and function. And over time, this may contribute to some features associated with skin aging. But aging is multifactorial. Sugar isn't acting alone. Sun exposure plays a role in that. Smoking plays a role in that. Genetics plays a role in that. Metabolic health also plays a role in that. Nutrition plays a role in that. And simply getting older. I mean, everyone will age. All play a role when it comes to skin aging. So don't walk away from this video afraid of fruits, and don't throw away every carbohydrate in your kitchen. Instead, reduce excessive free sugars. Eat mostly whole foods. Protect yourself from excessive ultraviolet radiation or exposure. And of course, don't smoke, and stay active and take care of your metabolic health. Of course, the best anti-aging strategy isn't hiding in a supplement bottle. It's probably hiding in the habits you repeat every single day. Send this video to someone who spends hundreds of dollars or hundreds of shillings on skincare but drinks sugary beverages every single day. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Health Desk with Dr. Libeya, because in the next video, we are going even further. Why your face may be aging faster than you are. I'm Dr. Libeya Bethwell, and thank you for watching. See you in the next video.